What's up, YouTube? We're gonna have a little discussion today. Today, I want to talk about when does being inclusive within the yo-yo community start to make us exclusive. What am I talking about? Where's all this coming from? So, talked about China Worlds a little bit, and some rules that came out from China Worlds that just basically stated some general rules of, okay, you're in China, no tattoos, no flags, no on your shirts, no political statements, blah, 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 blah. There's just a whole list of rules, things that the yo-yo players themselves can't do on stage. I'm not sure if it's something you're not supposed to do just in general when you're out there or what have you, but there was this whole list of rules. That list of rules is rather, it's rather exclusive. There's a lot of rules there. One of them particularly was tattoos. If you had tattoos, you had to cover them up. Now, to me, this sort of opens that ball of wax, that can of worms, that, you know, sort of Pandora's box of, well, what's okay? I realize, yes, do we want to have a Worlds in Asia, particularly in China, where there's a ton of Chinese, there are so many Chinese players, there are probably going to be more Chinese players at Worlds this year, probably 10 times more than there have been at any other Worlds. And it's going to be great, because yo-yo is big in China. There's a lot of yo-yoers in China, so it's good that Worlds is going to China for that reason, specifically. However, where do we draw the line? So, in my opinion, the whole rules with China thing is sort of where we draw the line. Is it too much? No, probably not. It's probably something that we can work with. But what it does is it's probably going to create some difficulty for at least some players and some people. And there's potential for something to slip up or something, somebody to move, and a tattoo to be exposed or something like that. And the sort of penalty is the possibility of the whole contest being canceled altogether. It's not just like, oh, his tattoo popped out when he went for an Eli hop and he's disqualified now. It's not just that. There's a potential for the whole contest to be canceled and just done. That's problematic. Now, it's not problematic for, you know, the clean-cut kids, you know, your Gentry Stein, your Evan Nagao, your Nate Daly. Those guys, you know, they're not going to have tattoos or wear political shirts or anything like that. They're going to show up, follow all the rules. It probably won't even have been that hard for them, and they're just going to be able to do their thing and move along. And that'll be great. They'll be great to watch. I'm excited to watch those guys. Truth be told, really am. And I'm really hoping that Worlds goes great. But, you know, there's a lot of players, and there have been in the past, and there will be in the future, and there's a lot of people in this community who are rather eccentric individuals. Let's face it takes sort of an eccentric individual to really get into this, you know what I mean? Just think of Steve Brown. Now, Steve Brown's an older guy now that's sort of just in charge of stuff, but, you know, Steve Brown, Tyler Severance, guys like that, guys who have huge tattoo sleeves. Steve Brown, for the longest time, was like one of the, like a mohawk, and I mean, he was the embodiment of punk rock and yo-yo, and he was just fun to watch. Regardless of how cool his tricks were going to be at the time, he was cool. And he was looking cool and doing cool stuff, and he was tatted up and mohawk and sometimes a pink tutu, and it was crazy, and it was great. Same thing, you know, there were lots of guys who sort of followed in those footsteps. Now, to go to China, you really sort of have to be just sort of clean cut and plain to not, based on the rules that were given, to sort of not cause issues. So it sort of takes those eccentric people and either has them not go and pushes them to the side, or, you know, just kind of makes them have to water down who they are. And I don't particularly like that. I've sort of have issue with that. So I really do think that this is sort of the line that I don't think, maybe this time, yes, because it needed to happen in China, but I really do think that we need to revisit stuff like this, because I feel like rules like this are stifling and sort of make what is kind of is supposed to be an inclusive hobby a little bit more exclusive, and it kind of pushes out those of us who are sort of on the fringe or who are just sort of eccentric individuals in their own right. And I think that's wrong. And, you know, from that point, where do we go from there? Like, okay, no tattoos. Let's say that's the biggest thing that's probably going to be the hardest for some people to cover up, because some guys have a lot of tattoos and they're in spots that are hard to cover up. So let's say that's like the hardest rule that ends up getting followed. But in, you know, let's say those guys either they just decide, you know what, I just won't go, or I'll tape it up or something, and then we go there. But then what? Okay, so China Worlds goes great. Well, let's say what if Saudi Arabia? What if there's a lot of Saudi Arabian yo-yo players? I don't know if there are. Maybe there are. I don't really know. But let's say they want to have Worlds in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. That's in Asia. That could technically be, we could have the next Asian Worlds in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. Well, except women aren't allowed to perform. No women. Only men. That's not okay, right? Like, that's, we can't do that, right? We couldn't go to Jeddah and then say, nope, sorry, women can't compete. Saudi Arabian law. Can't do that. What about countries that were like, it's illegal to be gay? Like, homophobic countries. You know, there's plenty of throwers who are gay, trans, bi, whatever. We all get along. We all love everybody. It's great. Whatever your sexual orientation is, come play yo-yo. You'll find friends. We're all here. We are all friends. We don't care what you do. Just come play yo-yo. Show us some tricks. We can be friends. That's literally the basis of the yo-yo community. Just come play yo-yo. We can all be friends. That's beautiful. But do we have yo-yo contests and particularly world yo-yo contests in countries where it's illegal to be gay? I don't think we can. I think that's then there's actual competitors who just can't go. People who are really, really good at yo-yo who just can't go, can't compete because it's illegal for them to be themselves in that nation, in that country. I think the World Yo-Yo Contest specifically needs to remain inclusive and needs to be sort of the place where everybody can get together throughout the whole world, regardless of what color you are, what your sexual orientation is, whether you're a man, whether you're a woman, whether you're trans, whether you're whatever. Regardless of how you identify, what color your skin is, and what have you. The World Yo-Yo Contest, we should all be there together to just play yo-yo and have fun. And I feel like there are certain countries where that's just not going to be possible. And I don't want this to sort of be that slippery slope of like, well, worked in China with these minor rules, we can go here and follow these minor rules, because then we start to snowball this thing. And yes, somebody's going to tell me, because this is what I've been told both on Facebook and on my last post that I sort of half made about this when I scratched the surface of it, we should just respect those countries' traditions. And if you don't like it, don't go. I agree with that. However, in respecting their traditions, we should not have world contests there, because having the world contests there makes exclusive what should be inclusive because of that particular culture. I'm not saying those countries need to change their culture. I'm just saying that maybe the Yo-Yo Commission or the World Yo-Yo League needs to focus on having contests, the World Yo-Yo Contest, in countries that are very inclusive. Iceland was great. There was no issue there. Japan, good, great. Of course, in America, awesome. Let's have it in Canada. Let's go. Does Australia count as Asia? We should go to Australia. That'd be fun. I'd probably try to make the trip out to Australia. Go to Australia for Worlds. I think that'd be fun. We could do that. I don't know if Australia necessarily counts as Asia, but they do in football, so we can do it. Well, let's just count it for yo-yo. They count in like soccer football, not like American football. That's clearly just an American thing. But you know, so respect the country's tradition. Yeah, sure, but you know, how far do you want to take that? You know, do you respect North Korea's tradition? Murderous dictator. That's their tradition for the last whatever 70 years. Murderous dictators. You want to respect that tradition? Saudi Arabia. you know, do you want to respect their tradition of not allowing women to compete? I mean, women really just got the ability to drive, I think, in Saudi Arabia. So it's really, do you want to respect that tradition? Is that a thing that, like, we need to be respectful of, especially when planning a yo-yo contest or something? No, I just think you don't go there because of those traditions. You want to be able to include your women and everybody else, so you don't go there to have the World Yo-Yo Contest there. It's really that simple. I'm not trying to be like, oh, you're, you know, you're biased against this, that, or the other. No, I'm biased against, like, being exclusive. I'm biased against places where civil rights aren't the best. I want people to be able to do and be whomever they want to be, and I want contests to go as smooth as possible. And you know what? You want to make it family friendly? I get that. No swearing, no whatever, no grotesque things on your shirts. But as far as, like, just being who you are, I think that really needs to be taken into account whenever we're looking to see where the next contest is going to be. So I kind of feel like China is sort of the line that doesn't need to be crossed. And even that, I think after this Worlds is over, I think we need to look back and reassess, okay, how did those restrictions placed on us by the Chinese government affect the overall participation of the World Yo-Yo Contest? So that's just my thoughts on it. I wanted to see what you guys thought. Leave me a comment down below. I do think that, you know, there's a threshold. We're probably at the cusp of it, and I don't think we need to cross it. In fact, I think we maybe need to reevaluate after this Worlds is over to see if this is something that is something we would necessarily pursue in the future, because the National Yo-Yo League or the World Yo-Yo League does listen to us. So I think we need to watch, observe, absorb, give feedback. That's all I'm saying. Thanks for watching, guys. Please make sure you like and subscribe. I do videos all the time, and I try to put up at least 5 a week. I got a new job, so it's been harder to do 7, but 5 is good. Rose and Brews Cup. Anyway, cheers to you. I'll see you next time. It's just water.